Hi there, I'm Connie Kircher. I serve as the Elite Entrepreneur Coach. And in this training, we are going to cover what I have so many clients and I see so many questions about is creating a successful marketing blitz for a launch, for a grand opening, for an event you have coming up, a collaborative entity. We're going to break down some frameworks. So as you watch this video, please subscribe. Super helps my channel to know that this video is meaningful to you. And I am going to share a slide deck that is going to explain the framework. So get a pen and paper together so that you're able to capture, rewatch, and share this video for other entrepreneurs and solopreneurs like you that need some marketing blitz coaching and framework. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Again, I am super excited for you to watch this video and get rocking and rolling. So there we are. I'm going to move this bar and we are going to get started. So in the next 25 minutes, I am going to cover the 3 phases of momentum so that you have a successful marketing blitz. So my background comes from higher education, consulting in a space in large scale events. I mean, 10,000 person events down to very small, intimate, high level VIP day experiences and everything in between. So compressing decades of research and information, and no matter where you're at in your business, how big or how small the event is going to be, this is a tried and true framework for you to be able to start implementing. So please make sure that you watch the entire video because I am going to break down some nuances and some little tidbits as we go. So if I serve you well, we know that we've all been in this place where your strategy is like, what is it for that new campaign, that new program you're about to launch, that new service you just reworked? And all I want to share today is don't get stuck on the widget. What I call it always is the widget is the thing you are enrolling, the event you are activating, the book launch you are putting on, the book signing that you are, rented space and putting on. It is so, in a good way, plug and play for a successful marketing blitz to be in 3 phases. So I want you to write down like, okay, Connie is telling me that for me to be successful in marketing and blitzing and making sure I'm building momentum up into the event and through it, which we will talk about, there's going to always be 3 phases. So again, I don't care if this is a small little course, okay, that you're putting on. I don't care if this is a large scale event that is annual. It can be a customer appreciation event. The way and the what the widget is not important. I want you to get repetition and feel more successful and more confident in being able to build these blitzes. And the next thing you know, you're able to run 2 or 3 at the same time, 4 different services that you're putting into marketplace or different events that you're collaborating in. But let's start with one for today's training. So we are going to identify how to, in the blitzing to build momentum formula, okay? I'm going to share you how you create the 3 phases of a strategy, all right? I'm going to break it down for you, and then I'm going to make sure that you understand that there is a pacing of the cycle, like I just talked about. Please do not be marketing and creating all these marketing platforms and blitzes and doing multiple when you first get started. My encouragement is to get one solid, build out that entire marketing campaign or that marketing blitz, and then go ahead and rinse and repeat it again, and then potentially build out a new one, okay? But understanding the cadence and pacing this blitz is the 3rd outcome for today. So how is the number 1 question I'm going to have you answer in the how should I build my blitz is you need to clarify why. And a lot of my clients get confused, if you will, or they want it to be a broad stroke, way too general, that I want to build this event or this marketing campaign because I want to just, get some clients and I want to re-engage the new clients and I always start with this activity. You can only pick 2 out of the 4, but Connie, I want 3. Nope, sorry. Okay, only 2 out of the 4. And then you get really super centric on the next couple parts. But this is not even like, this is even phase 1. This is you just getting really clear with yourself as the business owner, as you running your marketing department and getting better at this strategy. is you need to pick two. So is the first outcome to re-engage past clients? Is that why you're building the event or activating the event? Why you created this program for them to go into the 2.0 version? Is the momentum that you are building to one, re-engage past clients? If so, you can only add one more. If not, let's keep going down the list. Number two, why of building this large marketing blitz? Because again, it is a lot of your time. It is a lot of your creative energy. It is a lot of, you know, your ability and your energy to make sure that this gets done well. And I think people underestimate, if I'm fully honest, they underestimate how time bound it is at the beginning. But I can guarantee you, as you keep going, they does become faster and easier, and the muscle is built to do this. So that's why I'm going to encourage you to just pick two categories here. Is it to only attract new clients? So you're not going to market to anyone in your past CRM or anyone that's been a prospect or anyone that's already a strategic partner or someone that's a super fan of you. Maybe you're doing this marketing blitz for the same product, for the same service, for the same event you could activate next quarter, but it's only to attract new clients. Your brain's going to work a different way if you choose that option. Number three, for you to get really clear before you start spending money, putting marketing items and starting getting graphics ready, okay? Is it for you to build cross exposure for networking? So meaning some of your networks already know you for one type of service or one type of product, but you're wanting to cross populate or cross expose a new product to them. So it's not quote unquote capital N new as number two, but it's new to them. Okay. So you already have foundation of the know, like, and trust factor. They already have a baseline of what your company does. But the number three strategy would be, I want to populate that I have this other masterclass. I have this other book. I have this other opportunity. I want to build a momentum so that there is not confusion when I start talking about this next, launch or this next product. I need to build a momentum and a marketing plan for that, Connie. Okay. Last but not least is your entire scope of this event, project, collaborative entity to retain. Okay. And this just helps you piecemeal what I always call categories when you build marketing campaigns and marketing blitzes. Because if I told you, and if I told myself, Connie, I just want to put all these categories into one blitz, I am going to not see any movement in any of these cases. Okay. So pick one, if not top two, let the other one set aside. We'll create strategies down the road for them later. But for you to be really targeted in these marketing adventures, like these marketing tools, it cannot be, if all of these, I'm going to send it to my old email list, and I'm going to send it to new people, and I'm going to go to new events about it, and I'm going to go to old clients. And it's like, way too much on the front load, and we don't even know what we're trying to capture on the end. Okay. So that is my first, just like, slow down. If you even have to pause the video right here, really think through. And the way I also like to coach this is maybe you prioritize these. Maybe you choose, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and Connie's telling me I just have to stick with the top two groups. Let me keep watching the video. All right. So here's the three core strategies, and here are the three core roles. So if you are a solopreneur like myself, or you're an entrepreneur in terms of you have a very small, limited team, limited resources, limited any contract or any, additional staff or team members, you can delegate this, or you need to be really thoughtful to go, there are three strategies Connie's asking me to build out, and there's three roles. It doesn't mean you have to get three people on the team. You may be playing all those roles. You may be spearheading all three core strategies, which is very feasible. Okay. I help to make this really delineated and clean and clear so that you don't just sit for weeks and weeks and weeks not knowing how to get momentum for people to show up to the event, actually, engage in the webinar that you're hosting, actually do the retreat XYZ. Okay. So the first three core strategies is leveraging your current network, create new exposure and engagement, and then you audition new circles of influence for you to get in front of. Now, the three core roles, which we'll go over in much more detail, will be the public relations person, aka you. You're the sales vice president. You're responsible for what the sales outcome of this marketing plan is going to be, aka you. And then you're also the engagement director. So again, pause this video, this training, to write down those three titles so that you understand as I go through the rest of these slides, that you're building a comprehensive team. Even though I know it's you and you're going to have all these ideas or you've had things that haven't worked, just trust me that we need to delineate almost departments in these marketing blitzes for it to make sense for you to get a sense of completion and for you to start repeating these in multiple ways in your business. Okay. So please tell me in the comments below, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching the training in a recording or someone has sent this to you, just just exhale, process. I'm a big believer that like it's not real in these trainings until you make that real to you. So what's your biggest outcome in seeing? There's three core strategies in building a marketing blitz campaign, and then there's three roles. Just give me your biggest outcome here in this video. All right, so are you ready? So there is a 33%, 33%, and 33% breakdown every single time in slow seasons of business, in faster paced businesses, okay? Or in your busy season, okay? It's in, Connie, this is brand new to marketplace, or I've done this 96 times. Get to a place where you understand that the phases, the cycle of these three phases do not change, okay? You may get better at these. They may look different, but over and over and over, for you to have a sustainable marketing plan all the way through to hit how many attendees you wanted, how many books sold, how many people changed lives, transformation happening at your retreats, it's going to require this much of a robust strategy. Okay. And when I say robust, I just mean very intentional and very thought through and very integrated. Where I think a lot of us miss the mark is we just do a little piece here and a little piece here, and it never builds any momentum, right? So always thinking 33%, 33%, 33% for every marketing campaign. Write that nugget down. The second piece, before we actually break down these three phases, is I'm a big believer in gamification. So if you've watched any of my videos or you've ever coached with me, you'll always hear out of your head onto paper, and there has to be a way to track it or you don't know if you've made progress, okay? So your goals and timeline tracker, I always love the infographic of Candyland. I mean, let's just go back, good times back then, is that you need to have a place where this event is tracked in terms of phase one, phase two, phase three, whether it be how many tickets sold, how many buddy passes sold, how many likes, how many downloads, whatever the blitz is for, there needs to be a way for you to track it and incentivize yourself to actually hit those numbers, okay? Again, this is all the beginning work before you ever put anything into marketplace or write the email campaign or create the Facebook event or do the short on Instagram. This is where do you know that you got completion? Do you want 15 attendees and did you want 13 new subscribers? Did you want 200 attendees and you want 50 new people on your email list? Like, what is it that you're actually trying to complete when you build this momentum plan? Okay. So again, the visualization, I always have them on my office walls, trackers in my different binders, but it's not just a dashboard electronically. It's a way for you to tangibly gamify and incentivize yourself, because you'll see over time it becomes repetitious. It becomes a little bit mundane, but you'll always hear me say that it becomes mundane for us as the activators and the roles that we'll play. But for the audience, they're seeing 1 to 4% of what we're putting out into marketplace, whether it be that email campaign, that social media campaign, you're on a speaking, gig, you're out networking face-to-face or virtually, your number of conversations and actual, exposure points is way lower than we really estimate. Okay. So when I say build this comprehensively, build this very robustly, is because I actually want you to fill the room or fill that webinar. And most people go, I just didn't do the quantity. And I go, I know. So I'm going to pay forward thousands and thousands of dollars of your time and training on this free training to go, you may be doing some of these. What is maybe missing, do some self-reflection on this, is the quantity of how you're showing up in these different lanes. Okay. So as you think through this training and think through your marketing campaign, you're going to put a time on your calendar after the event, after the grand opening, where it's already on your calendar. It's a debrief meeting with you and any key players that were part of this marketing plan. And it's already on the calendar. Because if the event goes spectacular, then that meeting is going to be wonderful for you to debrief what was, some opportunities there. How could we refine that? And if the event was not in any way, shape, or form what you thought it would be, it was less than ideal, or maybe only 4.5 people showed up to that webinar and you had, 200 people sign up. It gives you a milestone to go, what went well? Let's look at the data. What do I do for the next time? Please write this down. You do not do a one and done marketing campaign ever. Because all of the learning happens after the marketing campaign to know what worked, what channels were best for conversion, what people said of how they heard about XYZ. But if you don't have this debrief meeting on your calendar before you ever blitz anything, you're missing 33% of the puzzle. Okay. And if that's a big aha, keep watching the video. Don't stop now. But I really would encourage you to make sure that it's within that 2-week window after the event, after the launch, after the enrollment period ends, so that you can have a real true meeting, even if it's with you, yourself, and you. All my meetings are like that too, so that I'm able to reflect and gain knowledge based off of what I saw work, what didn't work, so I can build a better marketing blitz. All right, so here's the 3 phases: pre-planning phase, implementation, and then the post blitz. So the first phase of pre-planning is 3 weeks long. So if you know when your launch date is October 1st or December 1st or February 15th, you're going to have to back all of these up on all these timelines. So the first nugget, the first piece you're going to write down is that I need to complete this 3 weeks, and then we're going to add a couple other time blocks there. But you get a target list of 20 specific engagers and who you will invite. They absolutely will make sure that they attend or that they will, engage in that event, that post. They're going to be able to have some speaking and points, but you already get a list together of those VIP attendees. Okay. Then you identify 20 groups, 20. Yes, that's why you get 3 weeks to figure this out. If you say, Connie, I only have 4.5 groups on a good day and it's not today, I still want you doing the research on what community groups, what does it make sense from social media groups? What about all your networking groups that you're building rapport with, all the masterminds you belong to? And if this is, again, new to you, that's fine in this training. This is what we're working towards. Okay. So at a minimum, you're identifying 20 groups that you could share and get some pre-engagement in. Some, hey, save the date kind of communication. Some, hey, would you be interested? I have an interest form. We're about to release, XYZ tickets here in 3 weeks. This is where you're starting to just start. This is not close to the event at all. This is 3 weeks pre-implementation, all of this. All right. Then you actually call people and you have scripts and you actually share the upcoming time frame and you have all of those set. So you have all of the text message ready, all the email campaigns ready, all the phone conversations and who you're going to speak to already set. And then you seed 20 people, 20 tickets already sold. So I always call this my seed team. And these are folks that already know what we do. So in your business, already know your service and product. They are greatly connected. I know that they are not going to, I'm not exhausting my ask by them being part of one blitz, maybe once a year. I don't use the same seed team every single year. But I asked them for their engagement, their input, to invite some people from their circle of influence. And yes, they get a seat at XYZ, or yes, they get the bonus for whatever product or service we're launching. But this is all the pre-work that needs to happen. This is not arbitrary. This is strategy. Okay. So take a little time to reflect on that 33%. Then you actually implement the event, not the event, the experience around, okay, this is what we're about to launch. Get to know more about the author, get to know more about the event, get to know more about the instructors that are going to be at the retreat. Okay. So for 3 weeks, after the 3 weeks, right? So we're 3 weeks pre-blitzing. Now you got another 3 week chunk and you're blocking off at least 3 times a week for 3 weeks just to be working on the implementation of the blitz. What I find is a lot of my clients keep seeing clients, keep making commitments to other responsibilities in the time that they're supposed to be putting on their marketing plan, and it's nowhere to be found on their calendar. I wonder why it's not going well. Okay. So you can see that the dates are already set in this pre-planning phase previous that we just talked about, and it's minimum 3 weeks long and 3 times a week where I'm working the blitz. Well, what does that mean? It means this. 3 total times I'm playing the sales vice president role, like we talked about, role number 1. And I'm offering my calendar for one-on-one consultations. I have interest appointments or workshops or info sessions, if you will. I offer a backstage virtual pass for some of my coaching experiences that they could see for 30 minutes a mastermind. You could have open office hours, open house hours if you have a brick and mortar or a salon kind of feel. You could offer a quick 48-hour challenge, but this is all with the intentionality that it is to drive conversations on how do I buy the thing you're about to blitz. Okay, so be very transparent in that. I've always said this backstage pass will give you exposure to my 90-day mind over matter coaching program, or this info session will be a direct 30-minute conversation about what we look for, what we do at the Elite Entrepreneur Retreat in Mexico every September, and what questions you have. But you need to have this place where people can then interact with you. Okay. Then during those same 3 weeks, you're doing PR really heavy. I mean, this is like bell curve. You are out there hitting the pavement for 3 weeks, not forever, but for 3 weeks. That's what I'm saying. The pacing of your energy is so important. So you're going to attend events. You're going to engage with other groups. You're going to interact with people that hit your 1, 2 buckets that we talked about earlier. And you're being really thoughtful, intentional to go, this is what we're about to launch October 1. Who do you know? Would you like information? Like, it's very intentional that you're having and showing up as a PR person. Okay. And again, if that's something that you need to work on, I'd love to coach you through that. If that's something that you, kind of just are unfamiliar with how to do that in a non, abrasive way, it's really you passionately sharing the good news of what your product or service does. That's what a PR role person does. Okay. So think about it that you're the storyteller of that product or service that you're about to launch or the event you're about to activate. And it is your responsibility to flyer the communities, and then they can make their best choice if they're a fit or not. Okay. And then last but not least, you need to make sure that you have an engagement person that when you create the Facebook event, when you create all these info sessions and people go interested, there needs to be a person, and it's usually you, that 48 hours before the backstage class, the master class, the other, group in conversations, that you're going, hey, I'm just confirming you're showing up to tonight's info session, or hey, we have you down for the consultation with Connie, just making sure that, we're set. There has to be this engagement, create urgency confirmation role. So many times my clients put their events on Eventbrite and on Facebook, and then they have an Instagram, post about it. But there's never this 48 hours before the thing that they're supposed to do, confirmation, personalization. Let me make sure that, we're prepared for our time. So do not miss that in this 33% of the formula. Okay. So digest that, process that. Let's keep going to the post blitz. So now, you actually did the event. It went wonderful. You took a little nap. You're like, I'll never do that again. Yes, you will, because it gets easier. But then this is the last, and I'm going to encourage, it's the most important part of building a successful marketing blitz campaign, is that you go and fine tooth comb everyone that said, Connie, that's Awesome. I just can't make that date or time. Or awesome. Please let me know about it next year. And you make sure that you talk them through and say, okay, I've got my whole list of everyone that couldn't show up. So here's a real data point. For every 4 people that say, I can show up, I'm going to do the thing, I'm going to buy the thing, attrition is real. You should really only be anticipating 1 out of 4. Even when they're like, I'm all going to be there, even if the tickets are sold, it's still attrition is real. So you have all these people that said, I was interested, maybe next time. And then what do we ever do with them? This is where the post blitz in a marketing campaign is non-negotiable. Okay. So you cultivate a conversation, a text message, an email to say, hey, thanks for your interest in the info session tonight, or for showing interest in the quarterly event that we put on. Would love for you to be able to attend our open house next month. Please let me know, if you'd like to RSVP a spot. There is never a one and done. You are always making sure that you have a full list of who is interested that did not convert, so that you can control the outcome of, maybe they're never going to be interested in your service, and you ask them that, like, hey, is this something you want to be followed up for the rest of this year? Like, you get really clear on all those people that are interested. Okay. Then you talk about the we missed you. So those are for people that have purchased the tickets, but they did not show up. But here's the next step. We'd love to transfer your ticket to this. We'd love to give you a credit for this. We'd love to offer you a consultation in this. You take an action step with them, and only in this 3-week blitz. Okay. This 3 weeks after the event was activated. Then you update your 20 groups. Which ones did you see great momentum and a lot of interest from? Which ones were not key players? And then you've got this new, robust, accurate, real-time stamp of 20 groups that you're going to be able to build from for your next blitz. And then I cannot encourage this enough. You must build in this rest and recovery phase in you blitzing a marketing campaign. All of my clients that have put on any type of program, event, book launch, grand opening, workshop, I mean, anything that we pour our hearts into, and the actual event of it, right? That in itself is a lot of time, a lot of your content, a lot of preparation, a lot of event planning, right? But what I'm leaning into is that when you build these marketing blitzes, it's as intense. Okay, those 3 weeks that you are hitting the pavement as a PR director and a sales director, and making sure that the engagement is happening on all the platforms that you're tracking, it's a dense time in your business. Okay. And again, I've always coached, from my heart, from a place of, I'm never going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to be very transparent to say it's not difficult. It is very intentional and time bound. But then you build off of that and say, okay, I'm going to make sure that I debrief my meeting. It's already set on the calendar, and I build some rest and recovery. I'm not going into coaching calls at 8 a.m., after I just did a big grand opening the night before. You're going to ease into when you're going to go back into full business mode, a couple days in, a half a day off here. Make sure that you've got some time to, do all your thank you cards at the end, right? Connie's telling me I need to be building in for 3 weeks this post blitz kind of, process, and then roll back into. Most people go about 3 hours and then you're back into all out mode. It's too fast. This is what I was saying about the, marketing campaign and marketing culture that you're going to build for your own business, is that anytime I blitz something, I crescendo something, I'm very mindful to go, I do not expect myself, even with someone that's super, extroverted and lots of energy, to maintain that for the next blitz tomorrow. I'm very mindful that there's this natural kind of down moment where there's time to recover, time to reset, time to go through and process what the event is before I head into another blitz. Okay. So I hope that that was very technically sound. I hope that that helped you understand the intentionality when I'm talking about creating a successful marketing plan and blitzing, building momentum those first 3 weeks, implementing the crescendo until that event or that experience happens, the retreat experience, and then all that needs to be done in a good way for the last 3 weeks of that 33% formula for you to sustain these marketing campaigns throughout your business. So if you had a great experience watching this training, you might have to watch it 17 times to go ahead and take one of your ideas that you're about to blitz or product or service that you're about to put into marketplace, pick your two groups and start building off each one of these phases. Take your time watching the video as many times as you want. If you would like support in more of a one-on-one coaching experience, I am taking on new clients for you to be able to, in the bottom of the link, I have my scheduling app that takes you straight to my calendar for us to see if we would be a good fit. Again, I love building out these campaigns in a more customized way. I love working with entrepreneurs that have built several campaigns, but they're ready to up level their marketing strategies, get into new marketplace, position themselves in maybe some adjacent marketplaces. I would love to work with you on the technical steps and also on just the communication plan and the way and how to bring this to life. But I hope that you got some wonderful nuggets for you to start implementing as an entrepreneur. What you do matters. I will say that every time to my clients that I know we work so hard behind the scenes to make sure that we are building strategy, being really mindful of the, way we want to serve our clients and customers, making sure that sales numbers are met, making sure that marketing aligns with us, making sure we're retaining clients, like all the parts that make a business a business. But I'm going to just so encourage that the more you practice it, the better you're going to get at it. So everything we just discussed in this training, take and implement what you can, because then you're going to do another round of it and you're going to go, oh, I see what Connie was saying. I can implement those two little tweaks. Okay. But do not do a one and done. Those are so hard to start and stop and start and stop. The inertia just fizzles you, right? So keep building momentum. If I can be of service in any way, from training, from speaking, and or to coach you one-on-one, please schedule a time in the next couple weeks from this video. Please make sure that you put subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and I can't wait for next week's video. Bye.